an apple and something like a book, etc., etc. And some was like a horse, and we did flowers. We did different things, and a lot of those different things, like it'd be like 5, 7 things on the table at once, or maybe 2 or 3, depending on what angle you were sitting at in the circle, like how the clock goes clockwise. So say if it'd be 12 people, or it'd be something like a circular circumference of what, 24 people, something like that. Depending on what depending on what number knot you were at on that, whatever pring you were at, you would see it from a different angle. No two drawings would be alike. They would be similar but alike. In the similarity, it'd be all the objects. However, the class was what I was getting from the class, because again, I didn't read my syllabus that much. Didn't read the syllabus. I got in the class maybe a day or two late. However, what I got of it is you had to draw it in spaces and in diameter of where it could be, everything had to be realistic. So if you drew something like the skull that was on there, or the apple, or the flower, or the horse, it would have to match up with the lining of his eye. It's terms for this. Had to match up with the instructor. Had to match up with when they held there, because they were basically a master drawer, and he had to draw on portraits at least, and it had to line up with their arm length to where they would sit down and take a gaze at. It would have to line up like that, and everything would have to be in the same shape space. Like if it was like 3 by 6 inches or something like that, everything had to be like in the size of 3 by 6 inches. You could not have anything like 3 by 6 inches and have the next thing like 9 by 38 inches or something like that. I'm just giving an example. It couldn't be like that for the portrait to be realistic to what your eye was trying to draw. Now, art is art. You can draw it in whatever spaces and diameters you want to. However, for that assignment, it had to match up like that, or it wouldn't be a fail per se, because it was all trial and error. It's all learning. It was all learning. However, you have to draw it where it could be realistic to what your eye caught in front of you, and from what angle you caught it at. It couldn't be from the person beside you on your left, or the person beside you on your right, or the person across from you in the room. And it's definitely the person across from you in the room. It wasn't going to be the same picture, because their angle was turned, like how this camera is. It was turned around from a different view. How this camera is viewing out, it would be like viewing in. It'd be like the backwards of left and right, the person across from you. Like the dial on your clock, how the 6 and the 12 is different. How they're like, even though they're like on the clock it's the 12 and the 6 is right side up. They're kind of, the 12 and the 6 is kind of, one of them is kind of upside down, because you're going down. At least the numbers are, but the hands are not perpendicular. They're opposite of perpendicular, if you could say it that way. If I said it right, then each other, they're opposite of each other, the hands on the clock. So that's how. So the reason why I brought that up is sometimes we have to, I could say we should have, I'm gonna say we have to. It's necessary that we take a back seat sometimes. Sometimes we try to be a driver where we're in the passenger seat of the vehicle, or we're in the back seat on the left or the right. We don't need to do that, because the person that is driving, let's give an example. If a person is, what's a good car? Pretty good. A Toyota, a Nissan, or one of those. What's another good car? A Hyundai or something like that. Toyota, Nissan, or a Hyundai. Driving something like that, the driver knows best. The driver has the best angle. So sometimes, because the position that you're at, or wherever you're standing at on Earth, you're not able to see the angle that the other person can see. You're not able to see their perspective. That leads to assuming wrongly. So I just brought that up, and I kind of left off that where my classmate was saying I wasn't supposed to be in the class. I did some drawing in the past, so I and the Most High feel like I should have been in the class, because I was in the class. I didn't lie. I told them that I went to take an art class at the college, and that's the class that they placed me in. I told them I wanted to learn how to draw better, and it was a good class. I just wasn't able to be done with the class because the what we're going on now started to take place. So, and I just brought that up because no one should have worries about where another person is, or whether or not they should be what they are, or should have what they should have. I'm talking about this particular thing in context right now. They should not have a say so whether a person should be in a certain college class, because they took number one and the other person didn't take number one class. I think the advisors, sometime, most of the time, especially if it's a good college like I was going to, one of the greatest colleges on earth, then there's no reason why they shouldn't have me in the class. So the whole time while I was walking this person home, as we got halfway, I caught on to what they were talking about. They kept talking about that, and then they were telling me that their parents, this was a woman, and then they were telling me that their parents went at home. I'm thinking that the person, I don't know, was he trying to kidnap me at their house, or try to bring me over their house or something like that? I was confused, but I wasn't confused that they were feeling kind of salty of why I was in the second class instead of the first class. So, since I do have some drawing experience, I think that the college didn't want me in the first class because I would be wasting my time, Sometimes you can have the experience of something where you can test out of it earlier than you would be out of it in the first place. You won't, and sometimes you won't have to take the class. You know, you won't have to take the test either. They will recognize what level you're at and where they need to place you at. And sometimes if you just move to the left or the right, or get a little more understanding about something, then you can see it from a different angle.